This episode is going to rock. I am going to ask Jim what he does when he's getting ready for a phone call. 1, you're going to learn that. 2, you're going to learn how Jim thinks about life holistically. You're also going to hear what Jim is doing today. It really gets you in a mindset of how you can think about creating a plan for your life, creating a plan for your health, creating a plan for your business. Jim is going to give you a framework to think about going forward.
How you can be the greatest salesperson on the planet.
Welcome to the Rethink Sales Show. My name is Derek Kelly. I am joined by Jim Shorkey.
Yes, you are, brother. Yes, you are.
You have a lot of great routines to things. We talk about the day starts the night before. One of the other things we've talked about is doing cold calls can be intimidating. Getting on the phone with somebody can be intimidating. We talked about different things like removing the curse of the calls. But what do you do before you jump on a call to pre-game and pre-prepare yourself for the places where you might be a little intimidated, a little nervous? What do you do before?
Yeah, I think that's a very complicated question. It can get very involved.
Yeah.
But ideally, when you're going to get on the phone, you would be in the best possible state of mind that you can be in. You're jacked up. You're pumped up. You're ready to rock and roll. So some ideas that I would give you is play some rocky music. That's going to pump you up, perhaps. Or some music from Rudy, or some kind of pump up music, right? And all you got to do is just take your phone and just put that on. One of my all-time favorite songs for pumping myself up is a song by Whitesnake called Here I Go Again. I love that song. I love the rocky music. I love Lion King. I love a lot of the Disney music. So it literally takes 2 to 3 minutes to play that song to put yourself in a better state of mind.
Yeah.
That would be one idea, okay? So let's just think about this. I'm getting ready to make my phone call or phone calls, and I play some rocky music. The next thing I'm going to do is when you look at communicating, which is what a phone call really represents, is communicate. So I'm going to communicate now. And significant amount of your communication with another person is what is called nonverbal communication. It's the tone of your voice, your facial expressions, your body posture, are you smiling or not, et cetera. And so, unfortunately, over the phones, we lose that nonverbal communication, but we can play it out. And believe it or not, it goes right through the phone. Some ideas I would give you about making this phone call is, number one, stand up, okay? Because you're much more enthusiastic when you stand up, and your enthusiasm is going to go right through the phone. Secondly, get a hold of a headset or some way that I can do hands-free so that I can use my hands to communicate. That's nonverbal communication. Thirdly, I'm going to smile into the phone. Anybody who knows about phone calling will give you this advice. Smile into the phone. They can feel your smile. Think I'm right?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to walk around when we're talking. We're going to use our hands to talk, to make that point. I'm a hand talker. Clearly, Derek, you are as well.
Yes.
But we tend to sit on our hands when we're on the phone. We tend to get very humglum. I want you to smile into the phone. I want you to laugh into the phone. I want you to have some fun with this phone call. So the pre-prep is the rocky music and the affirmations, and then there's a technique to making the phone call, which does make a difference. And the more effective we make the phone call, the better the results are going to be. That's back to the strategic continuum. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So are there some things I can do to make this phone call more effective? Yes. Walk around, smile into the phone, use your nonverbal communication right through the phone. Walk around. You're more enthusiastic when you're walking than when you're sitting. Another technique is removing the curse of the call. So when I call Derek Kelly, Derek, how many times when I call you do I ask you if I interrupted anything important?
I would say 100%.
Nearly 100%? It's 100%, brother.
100%.
Every single time I call Derek on anybody, did I interrupt anything important? It's called removing the curse of the call. And when they say, no, I'm good, now you have permission to proceed with what you want to talk about. But if you don't remove the curse of the call, when they start to hear something that they don't necessarily like, they'll say, I got to run. That's why I asked you if I interrupted anything. I think this is really important that we have this discussion. And I'm not going to fight with them, but tendency is that they would not do that to me because I've already removed that curse.
You're saying, hey,
So
am I interrupting anything important? If they say no, then they've committed to be on the call with you.
Yeah. So let's talk pre-prep. Should we Google the very best book for how to make effective phone calls.
Absolutely.
Would that be a good idea?
Yeah.
So why don't we go get us that book? It's a 5-star rating. And let's read it and let's take some notes and let's start to do these things. That's what I'm doing right now with Outlive.
Yeah.
I'm learning about the protein, for example. And I told you I'm falling off on that. But I'm learning and I'm ready today. I brought my bag of stuff. In that bag is a bag of nuts, a bag of pumpkin seeds, a protein shake called Molk, M-O-L-K. What else? There's something else in there. I'm drawing a blank on that. But anyways, I am prepared. So if I'm going to prepare my food for today, shouldn't I prepare my phone calls for today?
Absolutely.
Shouldn't I be ready to go?
I feel so much better when I prep for my phone calls instead of just, hey, this is Derek. We met 3 weeks ago here.
I'm sure you've heard this. Too many people spend more time planning their vacation than they do planning their lives. Vacation is important, and we should have a good plan. But shouldn't we have a good plan for our life? And within that, shouldn't we have a good plan for how we're going to approach our marriage, how we're going to approach our spirituality, how we're going to approach our work, and then the segments of our work, whether it be greeting a customer or making a phone call or sending an email, like we're just going to do some half-assed email? Let's make it a good email. If you're going to send an email, does it make sense to send a good email?
Yeah.
Does it make sense to make a good phone call? That is the science of getting rich. It's to take every single situation and maximize the efficiency of the action we take relative to that situation. If we do that enough times, we're going to be crazy successful. And that's why Wallace Wattles, in his book, The Science of Getting Rich, reduces getting rich. And you can define however you want getting rich. It may not necessarily mean money, but then again, maybe it will be. You have to decide that. But the bottom line is, if you want to get rich, does it make sense that we get rich by doing things more efficiently versus less efficiently?
It does.
Hence the protein. Hence the protein. Dr. Peter Attia, is telling me that I need to get more protein in my body. He's telling me that I need to get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. That's 160 grams of protein a day. And I weigh 160, I'm sorry. And let me tell you something, that is no easy task. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I'm setting the stage for 80. I'm setting the stage for 90, for 100. And what is it going to look like? Well, bottom line is, if I don't do enough protein at 68, which I'm 68 right now, if I don't do enough protein at 68, 69, 70, then I'm going to have a problem with muscle mass, with bone density, with all the different parameters that are involved in aging successfully. If I have a predetermined longevity time frame because of who I am, my genetics, and all the rest of that stuff, of 75, I'm 68 right now. I don't got a lot of time left, man.
Yeah.
I want to outlive that. And by the way, I don't even know what it is. Let's say it was 75. I want to get to 80. Mm-hmm. I know for a fact that my father died at 63, way too young. And I remember when I was turning 63, I was sad. Am I going to die? Is this it? And here I am, 68. So yeah, I do want to get to 70. And I do want to get to, and actually, you know what my goal is. What's my goal?
122.
Why is it 122? Why that number? Why is my goal 122?
Because there was a French woman who lived to 120.
I asked myself this question. Has this been done before? Yes. If she can do it, why can't I do it? And you actually asked me after my stroke, you said, is that still on the table? I said, Derek, the chances of me doing that are a trillion to one. It's not real. It's a reach, to say the least. But I said, Derek, do you remember this? I said, can't I at least try? So I got to do my protein, and I got to do my push-ups, and I got to do my farmer's carries, and I got to do my dead hangs. I brought in my bag over here. I got off on a tangent. I have pumpkin seeds. I have almonds. I have a Molk protein shake. Oh, and I have a protein bar, a really healthy protein bar called Evolution. So there's more protein. And of course, the seeds and nuts have protein in them as well. And then tonight, I already have a plan. Marshall, are you listening to me? I'm going to get out of here. When I'm done here, I'm going to exercise. Even though I've already got 5,000 steps, that's not enough for what I want to do. So I'm going to exercise when I get home. And then I'm going to eat a very healthy salad. So I'm going to get some fruits and some vegetables and some olive oil and all the good stuff in me on top of what I've already done with the protein. That's what I'm going to do. I have a plan. Too many people, unfortunately, spend more time planning their vacation than they do planning their life.
Wow. Jim, this is good. Thank you for talking through that, for the phone call ahead, for the decade ahead, for the next 20, 30 years, 40, 50 years ahead. There is a plan. You're taking more time to plan your life, your day to day, than you are planning that vacation. That vacation is important. I laugh because I told you this one time, hard timeshare call that my wife and I had. We went down there in person, did all their presentation. It was rough. But one of the funny moments is they kept saying, "Oh, don't you want more vacations in life, Derek?" And I said, "No, honestly, I'd like to vacation more, but I want to enjoy my everyday life. I want to have a plan to enjoy the life that I'm living every day, not just find a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks to enjoy my life." And they were like, "Oh, that's not a typical answer that we get." But I was like, "Yeah, love to go on more vacations. But the point is, I want to enjoy the everyday life that I'm living."
Disagree with you because I love you.
Yes.
Can't we do both?
Yes. But my comment was similar to what you're saying.
I
which is
understand that, but
many people only enjoy their life when they're on vacation.
I think that's probably true. But I want to enjoy it today. I'm with Marshall. I'm with Derek Kelly. And we met Jess earlier. She's coming back. I want to enjoy today. I get to look at my cars. We did some stepping, do some talking. Going to have
Get
some
to eat
good
some
food.
food.
We're gonna. I want to enjoy my life. I want to bless my day. But at the same time, what I would like you to think about, where I'm arguing a little bit, is do I want more vacations? Let's assume I take one vacation per year. All right. Do I want more vacations?
Yeah.
Actually, I want 60 more.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. I'm 68 plus 60 is 128. You got to think it through the whole way through.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you're reading Outlive, right?
Yes.
How far have you gotten?
I think I'm on chapter 12 or 13.
Oh, you're pretty far. Okay. So explain to the audience, if you can, what is the marginal decade?
I read this a couple weeks ago, so I don't know if I'm as clear. I believe it is either your 60s or your 70s, and I could be wrong.
It's actually the last decade of your life. Typically, it's 75 to 85. The last decade of your life. And unfortunately, because of the way we structure it, it's a terrible decade. We're infirm.
We're in pain.
We can't walk. We can't think. We're sickly. We have all kinds of ailments. We may have dementia, Alzheimer's, heart disease, cancer. So we're training today to take that marginal decade off the table.
Wow.
And make it the greatest decade ever.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, my marginal decade, let's say it is 75, that starts 7 years from now. So, my granddaughter will be 20 years old. My anticipation is soon after that, there's probably going to be a child in play, meaning a great grandchild. I want to hold that great grandchild. I've already got that in my mind.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
You guys can hear Jim talk about how he's pre-planning
Yes.
the phone call, pre-planning the great grandchild, possibly, right? Pre-planning
Oh, there will be a
the
child.
routine, pre-planning the overcoming the stroke, pre-planning as much as he can to set himself up.
And let's not forget, if I die at 80, that's 12 years from now, will I get to experience great grandchildren? Most likely not, because that's 12 years from now. That means Lila's 25, but most of them are really young. We have some that 12 years from now are going to be 13 years old. So I won't be able to enjoy it to the extent that I could if I lived longer. So, ladies and gentlemen, you need to think about this. This is what Peter Attia is talking about in Outlive 12 years from now. And the goal would be, as I sit here today talking to Derek Kelly and Marshall, would be to outlive the 80. Okay, what does it look like? Getting to 90. Now I have 10 more years and a chance to say, okay, here I am. I'm here. But another thing Peter Attia talks about, okay, so that I am 90. I did it. Success. Yay, Jim. What am I going to be able to do at 90?
You want to enjoy.
Can I be with the great-grandchildren and mess around? Can I carry one of these great-grandchildren at 90? What Peter Attia says is that if you're going to carry a grandchild at 90, which I want to do, you need to be able to carry 80 pounds today. So you have 80 pounds in your hands, and you do a carry. I'm carrying 50 pounds. I have a sack. It's called a heavy sack. And I did it today. And it's a sack of sand. I pick it up, bear hug it, and I carry it. And I think I carried it for 8 minutes. So that's 50. This is new for me. So we're going to get another sack. We're going to end up to where it's 80. Also, Peter Attia tells me that I should be able to, this is not medical advice, please don't do this, but he wants me to be able to do a farmer's carry of how much weight.
I thought it was half your body weight. Is that correct?
No, it's not correct. It's your body weight.
Body weight.
160.
160.
So today, because we're getting ready for this, are you hearing me?
Yes.
Are you hearing me? Because we're getting ready for this. I need to be able to carry my body weight in a farmer's carry, which would mean 2 80-pound kettlebells or dumbbells. I can't do that right now. So I need to get ready for it.
Yes.
And today, Mark Mastriana, who is my physical therapist, physical trainer, he's my man, one of my closest friends, he had me, and this is what I did. I had 2 50-pound dumbbells, and we got them in my hands, and I stood there, I didn't do a carry.
Training.
In terms of I didn't walk with them.
Yeah.
Just stood there. Because he said to me, I want you to get used to this more weight. Yes. I also did a farmer's carry with 45-pound kettlebells, which means 90. Pretty darn heavy. But I was holding, it might have been more than 100, whatever it was. I'll have to ask Mark, but it was a lot of weight. It was more than I've ever done before. And I just stood there. That's all I did. Stood there and held it for as long as I could in preparation for the farmer's carry of that same weight. Wow. In preparation for getting to 160. Not even close right now. Yeah. Couldn't do it. Well, do you think I'll get to 160? I will. And so that's what Peter is telling me. That is a measure of success. Another thing he talks about a lot is dead hanging. I do that. Wall squats, push-ups, all kinds of stuff. These are things that, because what's going to happen is at 68, if I can carry this much weight, through the process of aging, that weight becomes less and less. So if I'm going to carry this much weight when I'm at this age, I need to be carrying this much weight today.
That's right.
Because it's going to go down. You're going to lose muscle mass. You're going to lose bone mass. It's called aging. So we need to prepare for that. And that's why he's telling me, Jim Shorkey, that I am training for the centenarian decathlon. And what does that look like? It's the same thing as the automobile business.
Yeah, it's the same thing as
Same
prepping
thing.
for those phone calls.
It
and
is.
being ready.
It is. Same thing.
Jim, thank you. Just for sharing. Jim shared so many aspects of how he's pre-planning where he's heading. He has a plan. He's not just trying to do something. He's planning it out. He's making mistakes. He's correcting those mistakes, and he's moving forward. So thank you, Jim.
Yeah, made a mistake with the protein. I called it out on myself.
Yeah.
There it is right now.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, guys. We'll see you in the next
Thank you.
episode.